So this is a review of the large Weber pizza stone. This one is just over 36 centimetres wide, but there's also a smaller one which is 26 centimetres wide. But this was a good size for a large pizza and fitted. It was a good size for my Weber Q220 barbecue. To see a review of this barbecue, click on the link on screen, or the later Q2200 barbecue, which is basically the same model. So here I'm unboxing the pizza stone. You can buy just the pizza stone or buy it along with a baking tray, which is a good option as you can prepare the pizza on here before sliding them onto the stone for cooking. The first thing you'll need to do, as it says in the instructions, is just to wash the stone and then you're ready to go. At this point I should point out there is some slightly contradictory information out there in terms of how to use this product. In the booklet which comes with the stone, you're told to heat up the grill and then place the stone on there to warm up, but in other videos I've seen by Weber they say to put the stone on the grill from the beginning and then let it heat up with the grill to avoid cracking. Heating up the stone gradually with the grill sounded like the most obvious kind of logical option to me, so that's what I went with. The other bit of slightly contradictory information I've seen concerns the cooking tray. Now it's called a baking tray in the description, and in one video I've seen, again by Weber, they tell you to actually bake your pizza on this tray, but to me this seems to kind of slightly defeat the object of cooking on a pizza stone, and so I cooked direct on the pizza stone, which is actually what they say in the instruction booklet, and just used the tray which came with it as a means of preparing the pizzas and moving them to the barbecue. First of all, I'm just going to show you how I got on making pizzas with fresh pizza dough. So I made the pizzas on the tray as I described and then slid them onto the stone. This actually proves to be the trickiest bit of the process and took a bit of encouraging with a spatula. As you'll see from this attempt, it didn't always go according to plan, but you can largely sort of reconstruct the pizza once you get it on the stone, but it's a bit tricky, but it's probably just a technique thing. I don't know where to live on this one, Keith.
This definitely needs to go in the video. Absolutely textbook.
The only other variable worth mentioning is the flour and how much to use it. I wasn't really too sure on this. They say in the booklet to generously flour the stone before baking, but I think in some ways it makes more sense to flour the tray to help the pizza sliding off. And this also avoids getting too much flour on the pizza stone, which can actually burn and sort of put not so nice taste on your pizzas. This is my first attempt and they all came out pretty well actually. The bases in particular were nice and crispy, as you can hear by this. The main challenge is that the tops do not get as much heat as the bottoms, which is kind of inevitable. It's a barbecue after all, and the heat's all coming up from the bottom, and the oven effect is less than a real oven. So if you want the cheese on top to be nice and brown, then there's a good chance the bases will be fairly burnt by this time. My only suggestion from this first test would be to make the bases as thin as possible and not load the pizzas with too much topping, so there's more chance that they'll get cooked by the time the base is crispy. Finally, I'm just going to show the results of an evening making pizzas with ready-made flatbreads. These generally went pretty well as well, as you'll see here. In contrast to using the fresh dough though, you probably don't really need to use flour. Originally I started using flour, but this actually just burns on the stone. Again, just added some bad taste. You don't really need it because these pieces slide off quite easily onto the stone, so you can get away without flour if you're using ready-made bases. So all in all, I've been really happy with this pizza stone. I was in a bit of a quandary beforehand whether to buy one. I didn't know how it would perform, but it's been really great. It's really nice eating outside with friends in the open air. There is that slight drawback that it doesn't cook the tops quite as well as the bottoms, but it's a very small drawback, and you're cooking on a barbecue at the end of the day. There's going to be some slight compromise, and you don't have to buy a separate pizza oven, so all in all it's a really great solution for cooking pizzas outside.